I'm Debbie MacDonald Moynes, your host, and our topic today is osteoporosis. We have Cathy Pearcy from Osteoporosis Canada. She knows all about this, and she's been giving us great information. So, Cathy, let's talk more about this test. So, if a person, let's say, maybe they have a break, or maybe they're just wondering about their bone health, and they want to know about whether or not they need to be concerned. What is it that they say to their family physician in order to get this test?
No, great question. So again, it always starts with conversation, and the test to actually diagnose osteoporosis is called the bone mineral density test. So this is it's very non-invasive. You lie on a table. And they're taking a very light x-ray of your spine and your hip to see what the density is. So basically, if a lot of light can go through the bones, your bones are in good shape. If not a lot of light can go through, your bones are a little more solid. That's a very simplified version. So you do need a doctor's referral to have a bone mineral density test done. As well, we always encourage people to use, if you've had one, use the same clinic because the machines are calibrated at a different level. So when would you start having these conversations? So kind of in your early 50s, you're going to start having the conversation with your doctor about your bone health. And he's going to talk about lifestyle things. We've already talked about nutrition and vitamin D. We're going to talk a little bit more in a few minutes on exercise. But then we're going to look at family history. There is a genetic component as well. Are you on certain medications? Cancer treatments, prednisone is really bone unfriendly. So certain medications, they're going to look at your age, they're going to look at your lifestyle, and then decide, do we need to do the test? So our organization, Osteoporosis Canada, recommends that men and women by the age of 65 have a test done. And I really want to reiterate that men need a test done as well. More men are being diagnosed because for so long we thought it was a woman's disease, and it's not. 1 in 5 men will have an osteoporotic fracture in their lifetime. So that's kind of how, like I said, early 50s, we start having the conversation. By 65, we want everybody to have a baseline test done.
Well, that's very interesting that there's also a family relationship component to that. And I would think that for a lot of our viewers who are older, there may not, there may not have been a diagnosis of their family members in the past. So what would they be looking for in their family members who might not be with us now that would indicate that they did have a problem?
Oh my gosh, that's a fabulous question, Debbie. Because really the diagnosis of osteoporosis hasn't been around for that. Like I think I've heard a doctor say about 100 years. So really that's not that long. So if you can think back to grandma, every time you saw grandma, maybe she had a broken arm or she was very prone to falling or broke her hip, you can probably assume she had osteoporosis. Or grandpa, think about grandpa as well. The other thing is the kyphosis, is that rounding of the back. And that's usually when spinal fractures are happening. So if you see that really hunched over older person, a lot of times those are fractures in the spine. And 2/3 of spinal fractures actually go unnoticed. They think, oh, it's a pulled muscle, it'll go away. And basically the vertebrae, it collapses. And it collapses then into a triangle. So instead of being kind of a cube, it collapses. So then you start to get that rounding in your back. So if you think back of grandma or grandpa, or maybe even mom and dad, having lots of broken bones, or that really kyphosis, or sometimes it's called the dowager's hump, but a kyphosis, really bring that information to your doctor because that's important information to share.
Mm-hmm. So let's say a person does that, they talk to their family physician, they get the test, and now they're concerned about their bone health. there are things that people can do to live well with osteoporosis, or to help themselves maintain the bone health that they have now. So let's talk first about exercise. What kinds of things should they be doing, Cathy?
Yeah, my favorite topic, exercise. So exercise sometimes can be a scary word. So I like to sometimes call it movement. So we need to keep moving. So there's 4 areas that we really like to focus on, especially when we're looking at bone health. The first is resistance training. So that's using your muscles, pulling, using weights. It could be those big TheraBands, big elastics. It could be your own body weight. And that pulling the muscle against the bone, so it wants that resistance. So when we're looking at weight training, and that might sound scary, but it's really not. So if you're at home, and many of us are at home now, gyms are starting to slowly open again, but we can do lots at home. So let's look at doing maybe a push-up on the wall. So that's using upper body strength, biceps, triceps, chest, back. How do you get up and down off a chair? Are you just kind of flopping down into the chair? Or are you really going slowly, using those leg muscles and almost using that activity as a squat? So using those big leg muscles. So we're up and down off a chair many, many times a day. You know, some lower exercises, you know, just going up on your toes, holding onto a counter, that can be, you know, lower leg exercises. So really looking at what you have at home. It could be cans of soup, it could be, you know, a juice container, but really use your muscles. The second area that we really focus on is posture. And I hope everybody now has wiggled in their chair and sat a little bit more upright. Posture is really, really important. Yes, there's Debbie. You want to really, if you lengthen that spine, so think that there's a string to your attached to your head, and just really pull up. We don't want to be all slouched over, so we want to bring those shoulders back. Pretend that you have a beautiful necklace on, or gentleman a bow tie, and lift up that breastbone, and feet flat on the floor. Or if you're standing, feet are shoulder width apart. So this, and just standing in this beautiful neutral position, sometimes can be very challenging, and it's an exercise in itself. So if I say relax, lots of people will do this again. So really be mindful of your posture when you're sitting, when you're walking, when you're just standing. Try and, to the best of your ability, stand as upright as possible. Then we also want to look at balance training. As we get older, our balance is just not what it used to be. So really practicing our balance every day. And that could be, and you can incorporate that into your weight exercises. I mentioned, you know, going up on your tippy toes could be a nice workout for your calf area, but it's also a balance exercise. Maybe standing feet with shoulder width apart, and then you bring your feet together, or bring one foot in front of the other, and that really starts to challenge your balance. Or standing on one foot. But I always encourage that there's a counter that you're holding on to. So this can be done, you know, while you're waiting for your tea, the kettle to boil for your tea. You know, standing on one foot, standing on the other. Maybe when you're going to the bathroom, you're walking heel to toe, just kind of changing things up. And then the last area of exercise we always want to look at is weight bearing. So that's carrying your body through walking. Dancing is beautiful, Tai Chi, but anything that gravity is on, pulling on your bones. We get a lot of questions because this time of year people are enjoying going out for a bike ride or going for a swim. Amazing exercise, is great for cardio, but you're not using gravity to work those bones. In the water, you're buoyant, and when you're riding a bike, the bike is holding that weight. So sometimes, and again, I would never stop encouraging somebody from, you know, going for a bike ride. Please do that, but you know, somewhere else throughout the week, maybe go for a walk, or have a little dance party in your living room.
All good things to think about, Cathy. It's just motivation sometimes is a bit of an issue for people, especially when they're at home. And during this pandemic, there's people are often, especially seniors at home, they're not getting out as much. I would invite people to look around in your community. I know that Shelley Wirt's agency, Community Care South Hastings, and my agency, Prince Edward Community Care, offer activity programs for seniors. Some of them are going to start opening up again. And then there are other organizations, community health centers and senior centers that have this kind of thing. Some of them have moved online. So that would be a way that, although you're separate and you're safe in your home, you're still able to be motivated by working with other people and by doing that, maintaining your health and your bone health. Now, you know that this is something we do not only for our general health, but for our bone health as well. Just as we reach the end of the program, Cathy, just is there anything else that you want people to know about their bone health? Things that they can do, that they can find out more information. What's it that you want to leave people with?
Mm-hmm. Well, I really hope the three key things that you take away from this is get your calcium through food, make sure you're getting your vitamin D, probably through supplements, and then staying active. And Debbie, I liked lots of organizations are still doing exercises online and kind of work it into your activity. Say Tuesday mornings at 10 o'clock, I'm going to do my exercises. Other areas that you can find help and support, we do have a website. We have a newsletter that you can sign up for. It's for patients. There's recipes in it every month. We have a 1-800 line, lots of information on our website. We've turned everything online, so there's lots of webinars that you can watch from a physiotherapist to doctors. So again, the silver lining of COVID is there's so much more education and we're able to reach so many more people. So again, my information will be available that if you're looking for support, just to even talk to somebody who's living with it, we can make some connections that way as well. So please reach out.
Well, that sounds really great, Cathy. That and you do have some recipes in the newsletter that comes out. So people could go to the website that'll be on the screen. They can find the newsletter and sign up for it. And that's possibly a real motivator too, to receive recipes every time the newsletter comes out. Something new to try with those green leafy vegetables and other high calcium foods. You've just given us so much information here today, Cathy. Thank you so much for joining us and telling us about Osteoporosis Canada.
Thank you for the invitation. We appreciate it.
Yes, we'll have lots of people contacting you, I'm sure, to find out more information. And it's been really great to talk to you. You're watching Senior Support on YourTV, and today our topic's being healthy bones, and we've been talking to Cathy Pearcy with Osteoporosis Canada.